Ospreay being in that match, I was just like, oh shit. So this is what they're doing then. Because as soon as his music hit, I was just like, well, he's winning because it's Ospreay.
So this is it. Like, he entered, and I'm thinking, well, like I said, in my head, this isn't the plan. He's not meant to win this belt, so he can't be winning. Are we pinning Ospreay here, or because of how the match goes, does he just not? He's just not involved in the finish. Are they just gonna have two other people want someone go over someone else? But I just thought they put him in there to grab the attention and everything. But like you say, he won the match. And now he's the number one contender for the international title, going up against Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing. Totally ripping up, I guess, the scripts that we probably all had in our minds this early on. What do you think about that decision to kind of course correct? Does I course correct, or just divert his attention at the very least to this title?
I have a theory that Ospreay just really misses working the indies, and they've just given him the international belt so he can go do that sort of thing because it works for a wrestler like Ospreay. But I was really surprised that the direction wasn't him and Swerve at All In, because that's what I've had in my head for the better part of like 4 months, that those two are going to be the main event of All In. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if they don't go that way, because Ospreay's just signed a deal. He's going to be there for the next couple of years. It seems like All In's going to be a yearly event. Like, it doesn't look like he's main event in this year, but he'll probably main event in next year, which I can wait another year for an Ospreay main event. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I was surprised. But it also does make me happy that AEW aren't taking these new wrestlers and immediately slotting them into the roles that we think that they should have.
So I wanted to come here again this week and speak about Will Ospreay. You guys heard me speak about him last week. I spoke about how I think at this point he's becoming the face of AEW. And we were pretty much speaking about the trajectory he's been on since arriving in the company, and that he's gonna be on probably going into the summer with that All In London show on the horizon. However, after TV this past week, it looks like he is entering the international championship picture. A bit of a diversion, maybe. So we're going to speak about, why maybe this decision, and just his general early days in, the land of the elite as a proper signing. And with me at this time to talk all things Will Ospreay is probably someone I would call a connoisseur of his career at this point. I've got Charlie from Wrestle Purists here. Charlie, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I'm doing good. Excited to be here. I feel like I talk about Ospreay all the time, so it's a very fitting one for me to come on for.
Honestly, I think your opinion, I feel, is very valid. When you speak about Ospreay and other stuff within BritWres and people from BritWres, I listen because not only, a lot of us see stuff and, we catch some of the things because we go to some of the shows, but I feel like you are very almost religious in going to the shows and have done a lot of coverage for BritWres. So I take your word as gospel somewhat. So especially when it comes to Will Ospreay. So yeah, it was good to have you here, and I guess jump into our favorite topic. So to get started, what's just your general thoughts since Will Ospreay came to AEW, his first match being at the Revolution pay-per-view in, early this year? What's been your thoughts of how, and you flew out to go? That's the night that Sting retired. What's just been your thoughts since he's come in the door? Just how he's been treated, the fan reaction, just let me know where you think that's how things are going for Will.
Yeah, so I said I was at Revolution for his first match with Takeshita. I was actually at Full Gear as well when they debuted his signing. So I've kind of seen a few of his key moments in AEW so far, but the fan reception is something that genuinely surprised me, because we know Will Ospreay and we know how great Will Ospreay is, but I didn't expect the American fans to click with him as quickly as they have. I had no doubt that he would get over incredibly fast, but literally from day one of having any sort of association with AEW, even back when they were doing the trios tournament in 2022 and Forbidden Door and all that, he's just connected with the crowd in a way that a lot of new wrestlers coming into the company doesn't. And I think AEW have done an incredible job of just letting Will be himself and getting over as Will Ospreay rather than just like this new shiny toy in the company, which I feel like they've struggled with sometimes in the past. But yeah, Ospreay's been doing an incredible job, and like the reactions he gets from the live crowds is like in random places in America. Like it's not just
Yeah.
the pay-per-view, it's just like every week on TV. Like they all know how to do the bit in the theme song already. It's crazy. But I'm so happy for him, man, because he's worked hard to get there, and AEW seem to understand what they have in Will Ospreay, which is good.
Yeah, likewise. I couldn't be happier that, such a genuine and hardworking person has got here. And, we know AEW, the core audience are people that would have watched him maybe in New Japan. They know some of his stuff. He's a fantastic worker. Excuse me. He's a fantastic worker. He's in a company that primarily cares about work and what you do between those rings, so, those ropes. So I think he's definitely found himself in the right place. What I think is more surprising to everyone, definitely WWE, who would have had their name in the hat trying to sign him allegedly, is it's that charismatic nature. It's the ability to, take control of the crowd every time he's on the mic and the energy that he comes with. And I definitely think this is what WWE they missed a complete trick on, because they thought maybe they would just get in a quote unquote pro wrestler that, they probably have to teach how to talk and this, that, and the other. And maybe they just thought for the money he wanted or rumored to want, we don't want to have to teach someone all of that. They didn't know that they were getting pretty much a finished article, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know what you think, but I definitely think they slept on the job in terms of signing Will Ospreay.
No, I agree 100%. Like, even coming into AEW, I didn't think that his promos would be as good as they have been so far. But he, like I said, he genuinely just connects with the audience so well, and he doesn't filter himself in the way that he speaks. He swears less because, of course, he does. He's on weekly TV now, but like he's not changed who he was like from like previous companies or anything like that. And WWE really missed the mark on that. That like I obviously that it was reported that they had like different terms and he didn't want to move out to the US, and I guess if that doesn't fit the schedule, then you have to make hard decisions. But for someone like Ospreay that's gotten over the way he has already in AEW, they've missed a trick with it. Like I thought they should have been willing to meet some of his terms on things like that, because he's so young still as well. He's like what, 30, 31. He's only gonna get better at all of these things. So it's crazy. It is crazy to me that they willingly passed it up, it seems.
Yeah, their loss is definitely AEW's gain. AEW would have been probably the correct home for him, regardless, even if WWE really did want him. But now, we've seen the jibes and the stuff back and forth between the two involving Ospreay. It's more or less just shows me like, yeah, you've missed a trick here, so let's take a little jab at him, sort of thing, which is very surprising. But I'm happy at where he is, and I'm happy he's happy, and that the deal currently works for him. And with him coming to AEW and the trajectory he's been on, we were probably all saying, right, Wembley main event, world title, Ospreay versus whomsoever. At the time of recording, it's Swerve Strickland, and we probably thought that's, some have gone as far as saying that might have been part of the deal he signed, that he's got to be at Wembley in that main event. But like I said, as of TV, we've seen him win this very creative gauntlet match, which I did enjoy this past week. And again, just star power. I don't know how you felt watching it. In fact, I'll ask you that first, because I was watching it and it was just plodding along and I was trying to even understand how this match works, sort of thing. But then Ospreay's music hit and you felt the energy in the crowd, and it's like business has just picked up. What did you feel like when Ospreay entered this match where we knew it was for the number one contendership for the international title?
Like as the match was going on, I thought it was really cool that they really lent into the whole like international bit of it. Like they had like Jay White, Kyle O'Reilly, Commander, I'm forgetting other names, but there was like some cool talent in this match. And not as much as I love a lot of the AEW roster, when it comes to like battle royals and things like this, they have a couple of set pieces they go to usually, and they didn't in this match. They really like included like a high caliber of talent, and Ospreay's music hitting in Daily's place was a crazy reaction. Like it was real cool seeing him there. But I actually really like this match, and I think that they should keep it exclusively for the international belt and go even further with the bit. Have people from other companies and freelancers coming in for it. Because if AEW is the place that feels like anywhere anyone can show up, so lean into it. Run it a couple of times of the year, like around Forbidden Door season and All In season, and I think it could be a lot of fun for TV. But Ospreay being in that match, I was just like, oh shit. So this is what they're doing then. Because as soon as his music hit, I was just like, well, he's winning because it's Ospreay.
So this is it. Like, he entered, and I'm thinking, well, like I said, in my head, this isn't the plan. He's not meant to win this belt, so he can't be winning. Are we pinning Ospreay here, or because of how the match goes, does he just not? He's just not involved in the finish. Are they just gonna have two other people want someone go over someone else? But I just thought they put him in there to grab the attention and everything. But like you say, he won the match, and now he's the number one contender for the international title, going up against Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing. Totally ripping up, I guess, the scripts that we probably all had in our minds this early on. What do you think about that decision to kind of course correct? Does I course correct, or just divert his attention at the very least to this title?
I have a theory that Ospreay just really misses working the indies, and they've just given him the international belt so he can go do that sort of thing because it works for a wrestler like Ospreay. But I was really surprised that the direction wasn't him and Swerve at All In, because that's what I've had in my head for the better part of like 4 months, that those two are going to be the main event of All In. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if they don't go that way, because Ospreay's just signed a deal. He's going to be there for the next couple of years. It seems like All In's going to be a yearly event. Like, it doesn't look like he's main eventing this year, but he'll probably main event it next year, which I can wait another year for an Ospreay main event. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I was surprised. But it also does make me happy that AEW aren't taking these new wrestlers and immediately slotting them into the roles that we think that they should have, and that they're like doing different things with them. It's the same with Okada. He didn't immediately go into the world title scene. He's doing stuff with the Continental belt. So Ospreay doing stuff with the international belt, it fits his character. It fits who he is as a wrestler. So I don't hate it. And him wrestling Roderick Strong is just a crazy match that I didn't think we'd get, like, in his AEW run, like, this early on and, like, this randomly. So I am very excited for this. I think it could be special.
I think that match is going to be delicious. Like, I watched Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly the other day for Dynasty, and I thought Roderick Strong is an alien. Like, he's not, who everyone wants as like superstar wise. Yeah, he doesn't maybe speak the best and isn't that captivating. But when it's in the ring, like,
when that bell
he's
rings,
just different. Yeah, literally, like, it's just a switch goes off, as they say, and he's just different. You mentioned them not kind of hot-shotting their new talents to the top titles. Like you said, Okada's finds himself in the continental scene, Ospreay now international title, even Mercedes looks like she's got business with a TBS title as well. Do you think it's important for them to kind of do that to strengthen these other areas of the card, or just so that fans don't kind of say, well, you're leaning in on these talents too much and putting them in these top positions too quickly?
I think it's a little bit of both, because like the AEW mid-card scene, it like ebbs and waves a lot. Like sometimes they struggle to have like a really decent mid-card scene, but like come Double or Nothing, the mid-card title holders are going to be Okada, potentially Ospreay, and Adam Copeland, which is a lineup I never thought that I would see. Like it really is weird. And then you add Mercedes into that as well, holding the TBS belt if she wins. Like, so I think they're putting a lot of work into establishing their mid-card and making it feel as important as other titles, on like as important as a world title as well, because they have such a high caliber of roster that not everyone can always be in the world title scene. So they're kind of like giving their fans a chance to get used to that. And like, maybe you're going to see these cool guys not doing what you necessarily expected, but it's just as important. And I feel like that's the sort of thing they're kind of build up right now.
Yeah, that's true. You mentioned, obviously, if Ospreay is to win, he'll be international champion. So firstly, we'll go with the Double or Nothing prediction. You think he's beaten Roderick Strong?
I think that is probably what's going to happen, unless the Don Callis family turn on him there, which is the only way I can see that him losing, really. I can't see him taking a clean loss at the moment. No offense to Roderick Strong, because I think Roderick Strong's great, but I don't know. It does feel like they're setting up Ospreay to be the international champion for the next couple of months.
Okay, so I guess we do have the factor of the Don Callis family, and that story is happening in the background about you know, is Will gonna kind of side with them and all the nonsense they're doing. I guess United, you know, I say United, Undisputed Kingdom are full strength again, so they could possibly factor in the decision of that match because of, you know, the prophecy of the Undisputed Kingdom. That's why I thought, well, Roderick Strong can't lose here, surely. So, like you're saying, maybe there is some shenanigans that play into it. Didn't Ospreay, and I ask you this because you might know and remember, didn't Ospreay say after he signed that he's gonna like stick in AEW at least for the next year before maybe he starts going out and doing indies and New Japan again? Am I making it up, or did he say something like that?
He said that he is going to be focusing mainly on AEW. I think it was for like the year. But then he popped up in a Chicago indie the other day and reffed a match between Sky Blue and Carl Fletcher. So he misses the atmosphere. It's so clear that he's just an... I don't want to say he's an indie guy through and through, because that sounds like an insult, but he loves the indies so much, and it's so clear because of how long he spent doing them.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's in his bones, it's in his DNA. So yeah, why wouldn't he love it? So okay, definitely. And to be honest, if he took the international title on the road with him, defended it in other places, I guess that is still AEW business somewhat, as opposed to just doing random indies just to, you know, get your fix basically. Okay, let's say Strong does lose. Just a little side mission here. What do you care about the Undisputed Kingdom, in fact? Because I know a lot of fans are here and there with them.
Not really. It's not really a faction that I care about. Like, I used to love Adam Cole, but his AEW run hasn't really been that inspiring, to be honest.
It's stank, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's been quite... And it's not all his fault. He has had, like, some really heinous injuries. Like, he's had some shit luck, but... And I think Roderick Strong's an incredible wrestler, but him being like the mic guy of this faction has been very, very funny. And I don't know, and with it coming out that Max has had to have surgery, it's not like he's coming back anytime soon. So what do the Undisputed Kingdom do at the moment? Like, unless they end up feuding with the Don Callis family, which is like... It's not really that inspired. I don't know. It's a struggle. It is a struggle.
Yeah, no one wants that. Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, especially, like you said, he's been so unlucky. Like, the minute he signed for AEW, I just thought, oh my God, he's just going to run away with it now. Off the back of all the great stuff he done in NXT with Undisputed Era and stuff, I thought, yeah, this is brilliant. But just hasn't worked out that way. Hasn't worked out that way at all. With Ospreay then, so if we're ready to kind of wait for him with this AEW World Title and maybe the big win in Wembley, is there anything else you would want to kind of see him do and achieve before maybe the World Title comes along?
I think that he's going to end up playing a big part in this the Elite versus AEW storyline that's kind of like brewing at the moment, because of like the way he is and the way that he's embraced the company. I feel like he's just going to naturally fall onto Team AEW. So I was talking to a friend about this, and when Kenny Omega's back, if they want to tag against the Young Bucks, I ain't gonna say no. Like, that's the sort of thing that I can kind of see him doing, and he's gonna go through this split with the Don Callis family. He's gonna end up just doing a bunch of little side missions, I think, in AEW for a little while, and then circling back to the world title scene in, like, I don't know, 6-8 months, I guess. Like, he might not even win the title at All In. He might win it before next year. Like, we don't know. But yeah, I can see him not being in the world title scene as soon as we thought.
I mean, Omega coming back is its own separate thing. I'm so happy to kind of be getting him back, and that, you know, this injury that's kept him out so far isn't kind of any longer. I do wish they kind of kept it as a surprise for this upcoming week, because the fact that they've already, I think they said that on Collision last night that Tony Khan's not going to be around because of the injury.
Yes.
And I know it's, you know, announce it so we can get people through the door and all of that kind of stuff and put bums in seats. But I just feel like we're missing a trick. If the Bucks came out on Dynamite next week to kind of gloat, you know, look what we've done to TK and put over Jungle Boy and all of that kind of stuff, and Omega's music hit in Winnipeg, I just think that would have been like incredible. And I think it's going to be great anyway, but the surprise element that he's back, I just think that, should we have announced this or just left it to surprise? What do you think?
I think it all depends on whether he's actually cleared or not. If he's like genuinely cleared and like ready to get back in the ring, I would have left it as a surprise. But with the way that they've announced it, I don't think that he's actually cleared yet, and he's going to be doing more of a GM role and kind of stepping in for Tony Khan, because like he's the last EVP left that's like not corrupt or whatever. So I think they're going to play into that sort of storyline, because he said in his Twitch streams that he's probably going to have to get surgery. So when they announced him, I was just like, okay, so why are you on the road then? Like, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, you've put Ospreay and Omega on the same team into the atmosphere now, so I'm feeling we need to see that, because that would be great. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on Swerve with Omega, and obviously with Omega, Ospreay, Swerve and Ospreay, with Ospreay going on to do this international title stuff. Do you think it's kind of partly to take the pressure of Swerve? Like, we need to do something with Swerve now so that people aren't calling for Ospreay to become champion. Do you think there's anything of that in mind? Because I guess a lot of people have been looking at it as if, you know, there's this kind of ticking time bomb where Swerve has about 4 months before we get All In Wembley, where Ospreay's going to take the crown. But with kind of diverting Ospreay's attention, it's like, Swerve, just crack on and do what you need to do as champion. Do you think there's an element of that, or do you just think it's how they plan to book Ospreay from the beginning?
I think there might be a bit of an element of it because of AEW see the chatter from fans online. Like, they're very aware of how their fan base feel about things, unless it's Jericho. But I think it plays more into the fact that Swerve still has this storyline with Hangman that hasn't been concluded, because Hangman hasn't been seen since Revolution. So I'm kind of on the thought track that that's now going to be the All-In main event, and probably might have been the All-In main event they had planned all along. So it could still be a case of Swerve's only going to have the belt for 4 months, but it's not the guy we think that's going to be taking it. So maybe that's why they've gone straight into this international title storyline with Ospreay, to kind of get fans away from that idea. So there's like less pushback against it, I guess. But I don't think people are going to be upset either way, because of Swerve is an incredible world champion already. Like, just the work he's already putting in. And as long as they keep like booking him to this caliber for the next 4 months, 4 months isn't a transitional title reign. People are just really used to long title reigns now, which is a bit of a detriment to how they can book world champions at the moment in the big companies. But no, I think that maybe Ospreay was never planned for the world title scene this early on, and fans just love him so much that's what they assumed would happen.
Yeah, I like I said, I think this is smart the way they've kind of diverted him. I was saying on the Wrestling's podcast the other day, I've noticed how they've kind of stopped visually showing the rankings.
Yes.
Because if Ospreay's going to keep winning, people are going to be like, well, why isn't he going for the world title? But at least now they've put him into a title picture, albeit not the world title one. So yeah, I think that's cool. And yeah, finally, when do you think this Don Callis stuff with Ospreay is going to end?
When's it going to end? Oh my gosh. I think it will culminate somewhere between Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door. Unless they use Forbidden Door as a way to extend it, I don't know. Because if there's such a weird, not a weird gap, but like there's such a small period between Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door, it's like we've got to think about tying AEW and New Japan storylines together. So like to make sense for the build of the pay-per-view. So I guess somewhere in that period, and it honestly might not even, because if the rest of the Don Callis family fall on Team Elite, then it's gonna keep bouncing off because of that, and I guess it will culminate whenever that culminates. Which, who knows? This could be the feud of the year for AEW. It could go until like the end of the year. So I genuinely don't know where it will end at this point. There's like a few different places it could, but it depends how they book it, I guess.
That's got to be a blood and guts match, the Elite versus
Yeah.
AEW.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Charlie, it's been a pleasure as always. Please tell the people where they can find you and stuff.
You guys can find me on the Wrestle Purists channel. I do a Sunday podcast called Girls on Grabs, where it's just a couple of girls talking about grabs. We cover a bunch of different topics, mainly AEW, because that's what we talk about most. And then on a Thursday on the Wrestle Purists channel, you can catch me on the Dynamite review as well.
Nice. Thank you, Charlie. Speak soon.
Thanks for having me.